like even my industry right now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like a lot of editors right now, but we don't need to include this or people might not.
No,
We're
know.
already
we're-
live.
We're
A
already
lot
live.
of people. Hey, what's up, everybody? A lot of people in my industry are having a real hard time finding work, from editors to co-executive producers and executive producers that are like working 15 years. And a lot of it has to do with this impending writer strike that's supposed to be coming in June, that the writers and directors are going on strike. And part of what they're fighting for is they're looking to ban ChatGPT. Like they're saying you can't use ChatGPT to write scripts, to revise, to write copy, to write VO. It's like this.
You just muted yourself, Carlos. Okay, there you go.
ChatGPT muted him.
No, you're muted now, even though you're not muted. Your mic failed.
There's something up with this. I actually.
Oh no, it's there. It's just super low. It's just low.
Yeah, it's this M4 box. I don't know why it doesn't work for me, man. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better.
Did you have issues with that, Vitaly, with the M4 box on
No,
the
I'm
Mac,
using
on
it
the
right
M1 Max?
No, using it right now. No problems.
It's so weird.
Did you
but
ask
anyway,
ChatGPT why it's happening?
it's just, I got to get on ChatGPT and ask it for tech support.
Wait,
Yo,
so
yeah. So there is no one in the chat?
no, they're there. It's the YouTube's being weird. It's showing 0 people, but if I go to actual YouTube, it's that's weird. It's 17 watching. And so it says 0 on StreamYard. It's so weird for me. I don't know why.
We gotta pretend to stare.
Okay.
That's true, even
Well, this was a good one, gentlemen.
Thanks, guys. Wish me luck.
Any hear
hey,
Vitaly?
Any
What
here?
does that mean?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what that
I
means.
can't hear Vitaly. Oh, I think you know what it is. The chat's delayed, bro. That like StreamYard does this sometimes. It just turned to 17. Okay, so StreamYard's getting
Check
better.
1, 2.
But it's never
check
been
1, 2.
that much. It's like a few seconds, but it's never been like a minute.
It happened once on the morning stream this week. I had like 240 people, and it just said 0 for like an hour. I was like, okay, that's great.
Oh, is that no? I think that's YouTube because I'm looking at the actual YouTube link and
There's people on it, yeah.
no, there's a couple of people on it, but it's slow going. So
Well, we didn't really promote this out like way beforehand, and it's a Sunday night, so we may not get as many people. Well, yeah, we'll see. People pop in. I'll send out the link on Twitter too. So
Okay, let me.
oh
ask a
yeah.
question.
I think he's right. Hit that like button. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask
saying the
And if
right
you're not
thing.
subscribed, obviously hit subscribe. I mean,
Carlos.
Yep.
Are you willing to do Finance Junkies every day at 9 p.m. Eastern?
9 p.m. It's possible. There's some days that I
10.
wouldn't. be
You
able
mean
to.
10?
No, 9 p.m.
no,
would be 6 my time.
Yeah. So me and Chris were doing a show every night, and then
Yeah.
me and Vitaly were doing a show every night. And then last week we were all like, we might as well just do the show together. And we're like, okay, this is
That
Finance
actually makes
Junkies minus Carlos, so we might as well ask Carlos.
We're like, we said we should call it Finance Junkies minus Carlos.
We were gonna call it the late night cowbell.
But it's
late night
10.
cover?
Dude, I get home after 9 most days, so it's not. I can't do 9.
Well, we can try. I mean, most of the time it's okay. I can steal the time, but like on nights where I have to deliver my show, like I don't even see my kid going to bed.
Okay, so I'll send you the link every time, and if you join, you join. If you don't, you don't.
I'll just I'll be like the wedding crashers. I'll just crash the party.
Okay, so
Okay, so first of all, what did we all eat for dinner, Carlos? Wait,
I had pizza today. Let's not talk about what we ate for dinner. No
Pizza Hut, Domino's, what type of pizza?
I ordered Domino's. I ordered Domino's.
Put the mic a little bit away from you because that shit's just like
I can
Cowbell Junkies. That's
Yeah.
a good one.
that's perfect.
No, what was the name that you and me were pushing for, Vitaly? Remember, we said it shouldn't be.
No. Let's not tell them because that's for our own thing that we're doing separately with cooler people.
oh wow,
Like you have to be 30.
It's called Enphase Daily. That's what the fuck.
Enphase
Yeah.
Daily.
yeah. Seriously,
It's
every
called,
time
it's called Enphase Bell.
every time I watch like Daily Cowbell, and I'm always just like, okay, how is Vitaly gonna lead right back into end phase again? You know,
Look. If people don't want to make money, and I'm trying to help them,
Well, thank God they weren't buying it 2 months ago when it was at 340.
wasn't I saying that?
Kind
yeah,
of.
he was.
What?
He was. No.
You were.
Kind
You were
of.
still talking how good Enphase is at 340.
Listen, something could be good and
It's
overvalued.
good. You can say it's good and still not think it's. A
You
good
can
time to
say it's
buy.
good and
It's
say I'm
totally
not
different.
buying any until it goes to around 200, which I
I
said
will-
You're right,
multiple
you're right.
times.
I will admit, when I was talking about like buying puts on it, Vitaly was like, "No, I'll just sell covered calls, and this way I can," because I know it's I'll know I'll get a better price for it. So I will say that he knew exactly what was up with it. So I'll give you your flowers for that, bro.
Thank you. Enphase has made
The
me a
people in
lot
the
of money
chat-
on the side doing these covered calls and selling puts as well at opportune prices. I know we're talking about Enphase again.
I was gonna say that people in the chat should play a game where how long does it take Vitaly to
And they
mention
drink.
Enphase, and then you do a shot. Like you'd be hammered before the bell, before Amit rings the cowbell. 17 people.
Oh yeah, hold on. Shout out to the finance junkies again.
No. That's not going to be on this podcast.
Yeah, man.
No.
Samrat, what's up? Jason, what's up? Aha, Dex. All right, we got to talk about some stonks. Wait, no, Chris.
I thought we
what'd you
were
have for dinner?
talking about stocks.
What'd you have for dinner, Chris?
Thai food.
Okay, Vitaly, what'd you have?
I was at a restaurant
That's a
and
good.
I ate a chicken meal.
Did you spend $500 again?
No, this one was cheaper. This one was a lot more affordable. But you know what? I don't like going out with the kids in a certain way because they order like $20 mac and cheese. That's always the worst. It's like, why are you ordering mac and cheese, dude? The same thing we can make at home for like 50 cents.
That's because
Do you-
they're kids, man. That's what they love.
Do your
you know?
kids order like sodas or they drink water?
Actually, we don't let them order sodas. Well, Sprite. We let them drink Sprite, but we don't let them drink Coke and everything.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm gonna make sure my kids never drink soda ever.
It's if you never introduce it to them, they're not gonna like it.
They're not gonna like it.
And then like I had a buddy of mine that he was adamant about never having his kid eat fast food. So like his kid did not ever eat anything. And when she's like 17 years old and she'd never eaten McDonald's and all her friends would always go and do this. So he was like, if you want, I'll take you. So like for her 18th birthday, he like took her to McDonald's. She ordered a burger. She bit into it and she was like, this is disgusting. It's like elbow skin and like eyelids. Like I'm not eating. And she just never ate it. It's like
I literally I will do that. My kids will do two things: never eat fast food
And never
learn
fly
how to-
first class.
and never fly first class, and learn the piano at 3 years old. I don't care if they hate it or
never learn the piano
they will learn the piano at 3 years old because
why the piano?
Because I sucked at music, and if you can play the piano, you can play anything. It's like the piano is like the
My
foundation
kids
of
are
music
both
theory.
piano lessons every week.
That's also that's because they're Asian. So
Half Asian,
Oh.
half Russian.
They play with one hand.
No, dude.
Well, we call them,
buying
we
MPs
call
on
them
one hand, playing
Rasians.
the piano on the
Rasians.
Bro, that's like a mix. The Russians are another, like they're very musical. Russian composers are like some of the most famous musicians out there. So
and then they will be forced to upload their piano lessons to Audio.
To Audio.
That platform will be dead by then.
Hopefully admit the billionaire by then.
Hopefully I'm a billionaire. Bro, but I really want my kids to learn music because I tried and I sucked at it. Like I tried learning how to read music and music theory and I just absolutely shit the bed. I was just not made for it.
Mhm.
But the kids that know how to do it, they're so smart. Like I excelled in debate and communication. That's where I found my calling. But if you can do music, man, it's just like it's amazing. If you can play,
If you start early, that's it.
Carlos, keep fucking muting yourself.
He sounds better this way.
He sounds.
I think now he's just
We
messing
literally
with
can't.
us.
Oh, now he's messing with us. Like,
No,
Yeah.
no, it's because I get an error too that says whatever StreamYard has lost connection with your M4 box, and I'm like, I don't know
wow.
what I have to do to get this to work.
Reinstall.
But anyway, before it cuts me
Reinstall
off,
Windows on your Mac.
if you get your kids, if you get your kids to appreciate music, even before you teach them anything, just get them to appreciate and understand the different things that are working together to make that sound.
Yo, listen. It's funny because now I'm never gonna stop talking about like kids and piano because these guys are telling us to stop talking about this shit and go talk.
like, come
stocks.
on, let's talk about the market.
Are these our bosses or something? Like
These are our
we're
bosses.
making
No,
30
the
bucks.
audience
Yeah,
is the
they're
boss.
the
If they
audience
don't
is
like
That's
our
right. The
market-
audience is the boss. No, just we're trying to make sure that we get enough people on before we start talking about the markets, because then it's like it's hard to try to keep engaged with people. So just give us a second to just get
That's
some more
not
people
the reason. I think
I
I'd
actually
rather-
just wanted
Why
to
don't we
talk
just
about
start with the chat?
On. Yeah.
Carlos.
So I want to talk about actually. So Amit, are you dating anybody now?
No.
Is
Why?
Kelly in the picture?
She's a
I thought that
friend.
was
I'm
your
not
way of
dating her.
asking him out. Is anyone going to be mad if I make a move and you and me, Steak Factory?
Bro, there are literally, when I mean 0 women in my life, I mean 0.
Zero. You're not even.
Nothing.
And my wife is
No.
watching right now. She just texted me. Sprite isn't better. There's just no
Yeah,
caffeine.
Just yeah.
Anyway, I don't have a wife on the internet. Sorry about that. All right,
Hello, guys. Some
so
words
you're
about
not on
food.
Tinder or anything, man?
No.
Nothing?
I watched the interview this weekend with the CEO of Bumble, who Whitney Wolf Heard.
How does
And I
that
would take-
help the love
Well,
life?
because her interview, she made a platform get to 50 million users. So I was really interested in figuring out how. So it was a great thing to listen to while I was on the treadmill. I also
That's
lost
true.
5 pounds this week. So,
So how did she do that? How did they get through all the noise? I am curious.
well, the thing is, she made Tinder originally, and then so she was the co-founder of Tinder. People don't know this.
Oh, okay.
Then there was sexual assault stuff, allegations, and so she left Tinder. She was devastated by everything that happened, and then she started Bumble. And for those that don't know the basic premise of Bumble, it's like Tinder, but women go first. It's like guys can swipe, but they can't DM first. And so she had this whole women-centered approach to it. She actually partnered with a guy that made another dating app called Badoo. His name is Andre. They had like 600 million users or something. So he incubated her. But they did a lot of guerrilla marketing stuff. They would like go to campuses and like hand out Bumble shirts, and like they did something really interesting. You know how on like classrooms they would say no Facebook, no Snapchat, no Instagram, because professors are like, we don't want you to be on that stuff. They would take those down and they would put no Facebook, no Snapchat, no Instagram, no Bumble. So they were creating all these different like mental hacks to get people to associate the brand. And then the women's centered approach really helped it take off. So they did.
No, but that's smart. It shows she knows what she's doing.
Yeah, but that also seems
Bumble was they made it exclusive. Like when GChat, remember when Gmail came out, you had to be invited. They made it feel really exclusive. And also on Bumble, the matches expire. So if you don't connect with the person over, say, I think it's 7 days, then you lose that connection. So it really incentivizes you to be on the app. And as someone that used that from like 2015, 16, 17, like those years, I got to say the quality of matches was way higher on
100%
than Tinder.
Did you find your wife on Bumble?
No, I mean, well, I did see her on Bumble, but no, we actually we met on a different app.
Okay.
so it seems
You
kind of
saw her on
sexist.
Bumble? Hold on, but you met on a different app?
Yeah, I was crushing.
Was it Hinge?
Hold on.
Did
You
you
saw
meet
her
on-
on Bumble. You just swiped by her, or you swiped to
No. What I'm saying is, after we matched, I also saw her on Bumble because it's like you're not just going to use one dating app. You copy the same profile.
So where'd you match with her? On Tinder, Hinge?
I matched with her. I matched with her on a bunch of them actually, because I would see her and then I would, she'd show up again and whatever. But Tinder was the main communications tool, and then we immediately went to WhatsApp.
Okay, Chris, go ahead.
Another
But it
Facebook
works.
product.
I can say that stuff
Facebook.
works.
I think it's funny
You
that
didn't meet her on Facebook.
yeah.
No, I said another Facebook product.
Oh,
WhatsApp.
I was gonna say yeah.
I think it's a bit like sexist. Like anytime I see these feminists, they're always talking about like, oh, guys don't approach us anymore and all this other shit because guys are all creepy. And it's like, yeah, but y'all are creating these like barriers around so you can't even approach. And now this is like Bumble is literally the epitome of that, where it's like, oh, we can only message you guys first, right? So yeah, now the women are pretty much in charge of everything. And so there are a lot of women who are at this point in their 30s because every time they're looking for this alpha guy. Like me and my brother-in-law were talking about this right before this was his brother-in-law is like a 6 foot tall Indian dude, super smart, really good looking. And this dude just cleans up. Like he just gets all the girls. And then there's like a whole bunch of like cool dudes, random guys, that are his friends and stuff, but they never get matched on anything.
They're not
and
6
it's
feet.
Yeah, they're not 6 feet. And like it's like such a stupid requirement. I mean, I'm not 6 foot.
No,
I'm like 5'8".
I agree with you, Chris. But the thing
Yeah.
is, as Carlos said, if you're a guy, the quality of actual matches you'll get when the girl goes first, I think actually helps the guy not waste his time. Because if the girl goes first,
Yep.
Because guys always tend to go first, and then you have 50 guys chasing one girl.
I mean, yeah, there's that too, man. But it's just I just feel like every time I see like a lot of women right now, they're always looking for this idealized version of men, and their idealized version of men tends to be like the top maybe barely 5% of people.
It's not ideal.
And then
Just let me point out, guys are looking. We're willing to go for the dorky, ugly girls, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, not really.
Exactly.
It depends on the guy, right? Like we're looking for people that match, and I feel like nowadays guys are looking for personality more than girls are looking for personality.
Nah, let me
They're
send you
looking
some
for
links,
like,
bro. That's not
huh?
true.
You haven't
You don't
seen my
think so?
YouTube shorts.
Yeah. Look at Vitali's YouTube Shorts history.
Yeah, freelancer finance YouTube shorts are full of
Bouncing
wait,
personality
now I
all
gotta
over
see-
the place. It's
I gotta
bouncing
see this
everywhere.
a
now.
lot of bouncing
A lot
personality.
of bouncing personality.
Wait,
You
hold
guys
on.
don't
Are you
get to meet
telling
Kevin in your YouTube shorts? What's going on? Like that's
Well,
Vitaly-
you know, I try to keep it all business, but it's impossible.
Vitaly, do you have an OnlyFans we don't know about, man? What's
I
going
wish
on?
I had an OnlyFans. I told my wife to have an OnlyFans. I'm like, let's make that money.
Look, I agree with you, Chris, but this idea that women go first, it was
It's a
revolutionary.
game changer.
It was a game changer. And, it
And
worked.
and the limited time. It's the game. It's the fact that they go first and the limited time that really, because it eliminates the problem with those dating apps that women don't like, is just the inundation of just constant men, the constant suitors. It lets them control, and it also forces you as a guy to tweak your profile in a way that you'll get
Yep.
the chick. Whereas on Tinder, it's a lot easier.
It's
You know,
absolutely-
one of my ex-girlfriends worked for the company that analyzed the back end data for both of those apps, and she would give me statistics and things like men swipe right on, these are like beta males. A lot of these beta males on these apps, they swipe right like 80% of the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, because they're
Whereas
just trying to
women swipe right like less than 5% of the time. So what, like you said, your boy, 6 feet, good looking guy, all those women are he's dating them all. Like that 5% of men is getting 100% of the women.
I just want you to know I swipe 99% of the time.
But if you do that, here's the thing:
Cindy,
if you
send
do
him
that
a
on the
text
back
right
end, it
now
actually
saying, "Shut
hurts
up."
your. It actually hurts
Yeah.
you. Like if you
I'm
are not
kidding.
selective
I haven't
on the
used an
apps
app.
you
I've never
value.
used an app. I missed that whole generation of people using apps. I'm
Oh, you
really
did it
sad
old
about that.
school. You did it all. You had kids already by then.
Yeah, I had to meet her old school at a party.
Let me say this. I think I already found the girl of my dreams.
No,
Naturally,
you
I
haven't.
met her already. No, I think I have. I just
Wait,
think
no.
it's gonna take a couple
What
years.
Ukrainian
before I-
website is she on?
No.
No, I think I've already met her. I've talked to her. Like I've gone. All I'm
No.
saying is, one day I think we might end up.
No,
talking.
you won't.
But
Amit.
after
That's-
I'm done focusing on. My
That's ridiculous. That's the
No.
stupidest thing I've ever heard.
No,
You
don't
guys don't
fix-
believe in love at first sight. You don't believe
No.
in, like.
No, not that
Amit.
part. You and her in 10 years from now, after you did everything, is lunacy. You
All right,
know?
at least 3-4. Like right now, I can't focus on a girl. So give me 3-4 years, and then I'll like.
You got to find a girl who's willing to work with you. Basically,
No, but it's not
whatever
about a
you're
girl
doing.
going to, I can't focus on two things at once, bro. I need to.
No. She could be
on-
right there, right next to you. Sort of. You both can
No, she
participate.
can't. But it doesn't work like that. You have to text her. You have to go out on dates. Like you can't have a relationship.
What I'm
if you're
saying
not-
is your dates should be something you both enjoy doing, like podcasting or whatever, hanging
That's
out
not
and
gonna- what, girl?
podcasting.
What? No, that's not happening.
No,
Why not?
Look, in that sense, Vitaly is right. You can't. You don't do your life sequentially. You know, there's an old saying that says, if you want something done, give it to a busy person, right? Because they know how to manage their time. You as a creative, you need an outlet that's not involved with your work. And actually,
I
that little
do.
bit of
I
time
have
that you
those.
spend
It's
gives
not a
you
girl
energy.
but all I'm
What's his
saying is the
name? Just
girl-
tell us his name already.
Masturbation can only go so far.
No, it's I'm just saying, like the emphasis on trying to deal with a girl and make a relationship real. I just don't have the time for that yet.
But
Maybe
you
in
say
2 years I
you
will.
say deal with a girl because the girls you've been dating are girls that you've had to deal with. If you you get with a woman that fully supports you, it actually makes you more productive.
It's
Okay.
not about her fully supporting you. It's about the emotional responsibility you have to maintain a relationship. It's like the texting, this stuff. It takes a
The
toll. on
text-
you.
Amit.
This is real
Hold on,
shit.
This is
hold
the
on,
hard
hold on,
part.
hold on.
We text-
Stop. Hold on, Amit. Let me tell you the
boy.
God's honest truth. Okay, once you're in a relationship with someone you really like and love, it just becomes a natural part of your daily existence. It's not like you. And by the way, that whole like you text each other all day long, that shit is only during maybe the beginning 10 weeks. After that, it's just literally maybe once in a while. Otherwise, you just see them, you talk to them, you actually have a relationship. Dude, it's not nearly as hard as you think. And the minute you have that support system, they boost you up to another level. Like I'll tell you right now, I just had this amazing time. I was telling you guys right before you jumped on, Carlos. Half the reason why I'm successful at anything is because of my wife, for being that supportive person, that rock that just keeps me moving forward. Like right now, I've had a change of shift. I'm tired. I'm doing all this shit. She's the one that woke me up. She's like, honey, get up. You know, you've got this. She made me a drink. So once you have that person that's like supporting you like the other way, you actually have a goal and you want to live up to it. Like you can do things for yourself, but when you have someone else that you want to do it for, you're willing to give yourself 110% more effort towards it.
You are right. Carlos is right, but this comment is also right. Relationships are demanding, and you always have commitments once you're like, again, as crazy as it is, I'm actually trying to take a company from 0 to 100. It's really fucking hard. Just having
how about 0 to 1?
That 0 to 1, just having that distraction, it's a lot right
No,
now.
I think you're sort of right. You're right in the beginning. Like I think maybe for a year or two, you're right. But at some point,
it's been less than a year that I've been really
fine.
working on this full
2
time.
years is fine. I did like Fuddbucker's comment, and this is absolutely true. Amit makes sure after you open the car door for her, she leans over and opens yours. That's when you know. You guys know where that's from?
No, that's Carlito's Way, actually.
No, Bronx Tale. Wasn't that Bronx Tale?
Yeah, Bronx.
That's Bronx Tale. So, anyway, that's important to do.
By the way, guys,
it shows Fuddbucker is really old.
By the way, guys, shout out to Fuddbucker. He posted something on Twitter. He was very, dude. But Fuddbucker, dude, all the prayers for your daughter, man.
I think we should call him Mr. Fuddbucker.
She's awesome. She's awesome. And let me tell you, you as a parent have done a fucking fantastic and amazing job. And I say keep going with it, dude. Just
pull up the tweet. Pull up the tweet if you're going to talk about it.
Fuddbucker, it's Vitali, not Vitality. I don't know what it be. A lot of people in your stream keep calling me Vitality.
Is it okay if I put it on the stream? Fuddbucker?
Here's the thing: we thought Fuddbucker was old, and he's like almost 10 years younger than us. Think about that.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, put it on.
No. I'm gonna ask.
Is there a video of him?
No. It's just he put a Twitter thread. So
yeah, Vital, you're talking. He says I don't share much of my personal stuff. Yeah, Vital, you were talking over Chris while he was saying Fuddbucker has a daughter and she's been going through some health problems. I think she's like 2 years old or something.
Oh.
So we talked about it on Twitter. And shout out to you, Fuddbucker. Happy.
Sorry to hear that, man. That sucks.
Yeah.
Okay. Deflation.
Okay, let's skip ahead to Meta.
Oh, man. Here we go. Now I'm gonna get mad.
Oh no, he said we can share it. Okay, so I'm gonna share the tweet. Okay, cool. So we'll share it real quick. Yeah, Fuddbucker is a big part of at least this community on my channel and with Chris and all this stuff.
Fuddbucker, do you work? Because you are on every stream. I think morning and night. I've seen him.
He's at work right now. He said he was at work while he's on the stream.
What job do you do that you can be on streams and listen to podcasts all day?
Oh, so cute.
I often forget to look back on my daughter Catherine's health journey as it's still ongoing. That has helped me from realizing to be thankful. This was Catherine's first of many trips to the hospital. Reoccurring extreme. I actually don't know what this is. F pipes and IG meditated allergic reactions. She continues to climb the egg and milk ladder as well as other allergies. She's so cute, bro.
She's adorable, dude.
So adorable. And almost forgot this from 5 months old when her head stopped growing for 6 months. Neurology, like that's crazy, bro. Her head wasn't growing for 6 months.
Oh man.
Asthma attacks. It's been a long and bumpy road. I'm glad I took the time to look back on some of the hurdles, realizing how far she has come.
And the point is, we see life as, and especially significant others, as these burdens that we place on ourselves, but it's the exact opposite. The fact that when you have someone that you love and you care for, dude, everything becomes much easier. Life becomes easier to live in and actually do more with. Like, I know I can give 110% to life because I have other people that I'm doing it for, whether it be my wife, whether it be my parents, whether it be my brother. You like I said, you have to look at some of these other people when you don't have anyone. There's the part of you that isn't motivated to do more. When you have that other person, like right now, Vitaly, you're building a pool, right? We're just going to talk about this really quick. All right. You're building a pool right now, but you're not doing it just because you like to be in a pool. You're like, you know what? My family, they love swimming. They love
It's
doing
the
this.
worst thing I personally did financially in my whole life, I think.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's something that your kids are going to enjoy. And that's why you do it, And so everything that we do right now, it's motivated by the people around us and who we're doing it for. Amit, if you tell me that, hey, I'm just trying to build this idea thing for myself and no one else, I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't invest in it. I know you'll do well in it, but I know that when someone finally commits to you, and especially if she's like your support system or he's your support system, whatever, I don't know which way you want to go, Peter Thiel. You'll see.
Look, Chris, everything you're saying is correct. However, I've also seen the opposite side where yes, you need that person you're working for, but Russ is a big rapper I look up to, and for the first 4 years of his life, he was just like, again, 0 people knew him. Now he's like 50 million monthly active Spotify listeners. To go from that to that, it does take some years of just being isolated.
Yeah, but Amit, plant some seeds. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to be out there.
Don't plant any seeds. Don't listen to him.
Not literal seeds. Not literal seeds. Just put your feelers out there.
Here. But don't plant any seeds.
Yeah. It's like, nah, dude. Here, I do it on the back, bro. Let's go. It's like,
well, my wife is listening to the stream. I don't know. I was
17 when the seeds were on the face for the first time, and I was
no
like,
seeds, please.
Cool. That's pretty cool.
No seeds, please. Okay.
All right. So deflation. Are we entering? The name of this podcast is deflation here. So who wants to go first?
I'll start. Yes, absolutely. You look at commodity prices; they're dropping like a rock. You see utility prices are going to catch up. They're going to start coming down too because natural gas is falling off a cliff. Oil is starting to fall off a cliff also. So yeah, I think deflation is already here. There's much tighter lending standards being adopted in all these banks, regional banks, which are some of the largest banks. I mean, largest community financiers of like businesses, small businesses. Like your local community bank is where you get most of your money from when it comes to running businesses. Like if you have a dental practice and you need a loan to build a new dental clinic, you don't go to JP Morgan Chase. You don't go to TD Bank. You go to your local community bank. They help you with these kinds of things. And right now, because of this fear that there's going to be a run on all these local community banks, the lending standards have gone up way higher, and the strictness of that lending is really bad. So that is going to impact the economy really badly, and you're going to see that deflationary trend start to come in. Like I know a lot of people when they look at regional banks, they're like, oh yeah, the United States, I think has a total of almost like 500 or 5,000 regional banks that support local communities that literally finance so many things. So right now, because of all of this happening, is really bad for those regional financial banks because now they're going to end up cutting back on lending and it's going to end up impacting the economy. And we might end up going into a deflationary spiral, which is not good. 5,000 banks. Thank you, J. Kim.
5,000 banks. Jesus.
Is there any disagreement with that?
No, I can't say I disagree with that.
Okay.
I don't know about a deflationary spiral. I don't know if that's going to happen, but yes, I think we've always been with technology, even that we're entering a time of massive deflation, not inflation, because technology makes everything cheaper. So even when we talk about energy, I keep saying energy, along with probably a bunch of other more well-known people like T.J. Rogers, that energy is basically going to zero. Everybody's going to have more energy than they need. And so what does that mean? It's not an inflationary thing. It's a complete deflationary thing, right? So a lot of businesses are going to be disrupted in the next decade. Mm-hmm. I don't know if this has anything to do with the banking thing going on. I'm not sure, but Kathy Wood, long-term, I believe she's absolutely 100% correct in her thesis. Mm-hmm. Long-term, not today.
Yeah, I think AI was the other thing that we were about to talk about with Carlos, which is how many industries are actually utilizing ChatGPT and other AI-like features, and how many companies are being developed around there. I was talking to my brother-in-law. He's a lawyer. So, there was a complicated situation that
wait, this is a 6-foot lawyer?
Yeah.
That's why he's getting girls, bro. He's fucking rich.
Oh, bro, he's married to a doctor. He's married to a
So why is he on these apps?
Yeah.
Why is he on these apps?
He's not. His brother-in-law.
What's his name? What's his name? Call him out right now.
Vic Nayak. I don't care. I'll tell him. Okay. If you guys need if you guys need a small business lawyer, let me know, bro. He's got his own law firm in Atlanta, Georgia. He does mostly Georgia, so just letting you know.
I can't let my wife next to him.
Yeah. Oh, definitely not, bro.
He's a lawyer married to a doctor. They must have a lot of loans. That's
No. They don't, man. She makes good money. He makes good money. I'm sure that they have a few loans here and there, but no, they're very well off. He also is a partner in like a lot of dental practices too. So he's really good. But he was telling me about a complicated situation with one of his clients. And normally you'd have to go and you'd have to do a lot of research just to find out how to negotiate, like how to draw up a contract and all this other stuff with some deal terms. And he was able to utilize ChatGPT to get some finer points, and then you also do the citations behind it and draft up something that actually works really well. So before, it would have taken him much, much longer to try to draft up something, and this was just quick. So I'm shocked by that, but at the same time, like, yeah, that's a use case that I'm sure that a lot of people didn't think about, like how to draft up contracts. And so that just speeds up the ability for lawyers to do stuff and interact and actually make a different product. And I think this is the key, right? Where I don't think AI is going to replace any jobs per se, but it's definitely going to make industries way more efficient at doing the job, which means that it's going to be deflationary, which means that if you are really good with your profession and then you combine it with AI, you're going to be like Michael Jordan on steroids.
Can you explain why that productivity necessarily leads to a macro level of deflation? Like, what is the logic behind that argument?
Because you don't need as many lawyers now to do the same thing. So
why is that deflation?
I don't know if you're because I think you're wrong about that. I think you.
Okay, but hold on. Let Chris explain that. Then you can
so let's say right now you have like 10 lawyers, right, that you go to. Each 10 of those lawyers is going to bill you for a certain number of hours. They have to do a certain number of things, all that stuff. Now, the thing is, the reason why, let's say out of those 10, half of them are going to do well or even all of them are going to do well is because one of them does not have enough time to do everything, right? But if ChatGPT came in, he could probably do 20 deals at a much, much faster pace, because now all that other extra shit that he had to do would be taken out. So now what happens is the people that are really good at something and you enhance their abilities, they can do things much, much faster and better. That means that the other 8 guys who are like mediocre may not be able to catch up.
So is this deflationary because you don't have to pay those 8 guys? Is that why you're saying it's deflationary?
No, it's because all the concentration of business is going to be directed towards the person who's a good lawyer and can do the job very efficiently. Why does that lead to
deflation? That's my question.
Well,
because then services get. Yeah, go ahead, Vitaly.
Well, no, but I think you're missing you're hitting the nail on the head that it causes deflation. But what I think you're missing is that what's going to happen is that the lawyers will be more productive. Not that there'll be less lawyers. I think there'll be more lawyers, because right now, think of it. A poor person, it's hard for them to get a lawyer, right? They have to think about this. It's a process. Can I afford this $1,000 an hour, $400 an hour? Well, it might go down to $20 an hour for certain lawyers. I think more lawyers will be needed. More actual legal stuff will happen. The difference is now you have a sort of a personal assistant for these lawyers to help increase the amount of work being done. And I'll give you like maybe an example. Maybe it's similar, maybe it's not. But when people were riding horses and they were like, why do I need to go to California? I don't need to go to California. I live in New York. I'll just go to New Jersey to do all my business, right? Nobody was thinking I'm going to travel across the country or the world at that point. Well, cars come in. All of a sudden, you can go 5 states over. It opens up opportunities, doesn't close them down when technology proliferates, basically. So I think this will do the same thing and not have less. We'll have more.
Well, no.
That again?
The Uber of horses back then.
Yeah.
When the car came out, your business was destroyed.
Well, no. If you're the guy who he deals only in horses, yes. Now you better be selling horse meat. Those guys, yes. But the lawyer itself does not have. I think he's going to have way more business and be able to do more business and at a cheaper price.
I agree with you, because the productivity boost is what's deflationary, right? Where now you have an increase in productivity that's exponential, but the cost of that productivity is like this, right? So have you ever seen like the growth curves?
The cost is like that.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
no,
down.
the cost. No, the cost goes up, but it doesn't go up by much. Whereas the productivity skyrockets. So if you look at like the 1980s to now, and you look at the productivity of the United States worker has gone up like dramatically, but the pay has gone like mediocrely high, right? Like it's literally like nearly flat. And the reason for that is because all the workers can do way more. Like think about Tesla right now, right?
Well,
Tesla is a good example.
Before you go any further, consider the average work week that people worked in the 80s versus now. That can't be understated. That like now 50-hour weeks, 70-hour weeks are normal.
Yeah, that is true too. That's true too.
Wait, people don't get paid for 50, 70 hours. People,
yeah, you do.
Do they?
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
Well, no, not if you have a salary. No,
yeah, not if you have a salary. That's illegal, right?
Like I've always been on hourly. Actually,
yeah, but you're a freelancer.
No, salary people flat flat.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
you,
Like
you
your
could
boss
argue-
might make you work 80 hours, but you're still getting paid for 40.
No
As
one
a
can make
salary
you work
worker.
80 hours.
Exactly.
They can't say that,
Well, yes,
but you
right,
will.
right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Fudd Parker, we're actually going to talk about some fixed income stuff in a little bit, but let's finish up this conversation, and then we can move on to that. But basically, the productivity boost because of ChatGPT is going to be huge, and industries will definitely get disrupted, but new industries will develop. New industries are going to come around, and it's going to be great. I think the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to see such productivity boosts in everything that we do. I'm personally very excited to see all the stuff that AI and ChatGPT and things like that are going to do for medicine, because we have a shortage of physicians right now that's like out of this world. Like, and it's stressful on the doctors also, because now there's so much work being put on a limited set of people. And it's a thing where you want to interact more with patients, but you have to deal with so much back end with paperwork and all this other nonsense. And so if ChatGPT can kind of like solve that end, where now the patient can actually spend more time with the doctor, I'm all for it. I'm all for any system that gets the patient and the doctor in the room together and spending more time doing actual investigative work on clinical diagnosis and things like that, as opposed to, hi, what's your name? Okay, take this medicine. And now I got to go 15 minutes and spend on a fucking charting system trying to figure out how I'm going to code this entire
getting
visit.
paid from like Medicaid or Medicare. Like my buddy that's a dentist tells me it's a nightmare.
Why do you think there's such a
Is
lack
it 2 ounces or 3?
why do you think there's a lack of
Like,
physicians?
is it some Kush?
Mhm.
You got the crippy?
Go ahead, Amit.
Why do you think there's a lack of physicians?
Because right now being a doctor okay. So
I don't think ChatGPT is going to solve this, by the way.
No.
This is not a ChatGPT
Yeah, but you also have to
problem.
consider it's kind of like the military. The amount of time and money that it takes to train a doctor to even get to that level, it's huge. It's a massive investment. So if you need doctors today, if you need a bunch of doctors today, it's going to take you X number of years to even to ramp that up.
If they drop the cost of medical school to something not astronomical, a lot more people would go into the medical profession.
Well, there's another factor in it too, in that it's not as great of a job that a lot of people think it is. Like, oh my God, doctor, they must make a lot of money. Yeah, but it's also a very highly litigious environment where any mistakes can end up ruining you, right? So you have to be extra careful. But then on top of it, you have administrators that are always pressuring you to see more patients and see more stuff. And so it's almost like the doctors are being put in a very stressful situation where it's like, you need to be more productive, but at the same time, you need to be safe. And that's the problem, because both of those things are inversely proportional, where the more patients you see, the more likely it is that you're going to make a mistake because you're in a much more stressful environment, right? So right now, imagine your physician group comes up and says, look, I know you've been seeing 25, 30 patients a day, but I need you to boost that up to 40 because we have a doctor shortage and this person left, or they're on maternity leave, or they're not here anymore, right? So now you have to see all these additional patients, and now literally, instead of spending time with the patient, you're trying to figure out, how do I spend less time with the patient and see more patients? And that's the kind of stuff that like is really bad, because it's going to end up actually causing more damage in the long run. So yeah, I think there are definitely some steps that can be taken from a medical like from a educational standpoint. But the one that I would say to you guys, lowering the cost of like getting a degree would definitely help a lot. But on top of that, I think the profession overall needs a little bit of overhaul. You know,
there's a good point by Valentina. First of all, I love that name. That's an awesome name. They say population growth and aging, immigration policies, workforce attrition, and geographic maldistribution. All of those are also factors as well. So
I'll give you a bit of a flip side. This is something that I never considered, right? When we talked about AI replacing people, we thought it would be like,
thank God ChatGPT shut him down again.
All right, moving on to end phase.
Moving on.
But no, I think it's going to disrupt creative industries a lot more than people expect. Like, I expected it to do, say, more damage on like the academic side. I think it's going to do a lot of damage on the creative side, because the technology has just gotten so good where like these AI can actually see and know what's happening in a video. They can instantly transcribe, say, an hour, 2 hour long interview, right? So they know exactly what's being said, and they can be trained to literally put together TV shows. And this is part of what the union's fighting against for the writers. But even for someone like me that works in the creative part, like actually creating the shows visually, there's going to be a bloodbath, because to Chris's point, you can now have, say, a team of like one producer and 2 or 3 editors that can do an entire show if the AI can get it really close.
See, once again, I think people are mistaking this. It's just going to lead to more content. It's not going to, and more creators and more people on YouTube. Look, at YouTube.
Wait, hold on. This is a good little debate. So Carlos says ChatGPT is going to lead to less content creators. Is that correct, Carlos?
No, it's not that there's less content creators, but like the networks will still produce the same number of shows that they do, but they're going to be able to do them for less money. Vitaly's arguing that extra savings, they're going to use it to make more shows, but I don't agree. I don't think they're going to go out and suddenly start making.
Think about the last 10, 20 years. Like before 20 years ago, there was, I don't know, 15 channels. In Russia, there was 3. Okay. So now it's like thousands. Okay. There's more content, not less.
No. Where are these?
And as ChatGPT and other tools become available to creators like Amit, he's just going to create more things and proliferate. People like him will make more stuff, not less. So I think this is wrong.
There is a consolidation happening. You're talking about there was a boom the last 15 years when cable had thousands and thousands of channels to and they needed content. But now that's shrinking. I mean, the cable TV model is going away, and these companies, they're going more towards the streaming model. And there's only so much attention to compete.
Well, everything's going streaming. I'm not arguing about that. I think cable's going to die, but that's just changing over the way you watch something. But it's just we're going to have millions of channels. 50 years from now, it's millions of creators.
I think Vitaly's right on this, because if you just take into account YouTube, I've seen AI channels that are literally just scripting videos with ChatGPT. Their face is not in there. They get a voiceover, and then boom, you've got a YouTube channel.
Yep,
right? Like.
It.
Okay, so here's the thing. Now we all know that AI is the future, and
that's not creating a work for anybody. Just because the channel exists, no one's making money on that. That doesn't make
if it gets monetized, they're making some fucking money. What are you talking about?
But I'm saying a content creator's making money. For people like in my position, the creators, the guys doing Photoshop, the guys doing After Effects, the guys.
Yeah, but people said that about Photoshop. Like 15, 20 years ago, Photoshop was going to kill the hand-drawn animator.
If that channel that I just mentioned takes off and they need good thumbnails, boom, you got to hire a thumbnail guy. There's a job. Right?
Okay, so basically, yes, buy NVIDIA, buy Microsoft. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, I was about to say that. So how do we benefit from this AI revolution? So Vitaly says buy NVIDIA, which is great because I agree with him. NVIDIA.
Now you agree? It just went up $200.
Oh, hold on. I agree. A lot of people are saying, I still think it's overvalued because I have a better value proposition elsewhere. But I think there's companies out there that are picks and shovels to this, and it is amazing. Like Supermicro. Thank you, Dennis, for bringing it up. That is the company that you want to be in.
Do not buy that.
Yeah,
I don't even know what it is.
Profile picture.
Exactly, you don't know. So that's why
ChatGPT just killed Carlos.
So Supermicro is one of these companies that provides these two picks and shovels to companies that have to combine it with NVIDIA to actually have AI inferencing and AI data centers. So I'm super bullish on Supermicro to the point where I actually bought options contracts and I showed my wife how to do it. So we're in this together, baby.
I taught my mom how to sell cash secured puts this weekend, and she loves it. So
God, a bunch of gamblers.
What did you do it on? What did you do it on?
Well, she didn't actually do it. I just showed her how to.
Can you just show her to do it on Enphase, not Palantir?
We were actually looking at it on SoFi because it was the cheapest one. But she didn't actually buy any. She just learned.
Yeah, do it on Enphase. Give your mom $5,000 in her pocket right off the bat, and she will. Oh my God, she will love you forever.
She's been watching like options videos on YouTube. Like literally in her free time at work, she's learning how to do options. Like she wants to actually learn it. So.
Amit's mom will have a channel soon.
No, literally, she asked me. This is also okay. So Carlos is not here, but this is also the bull case for something like Audia, because my mom was like, "Yo, I want to make a channel," and I told her how unbelievably difficult it is to like break on YouTube, and she's not. But the fact that my mom at 53 is like, I could fucking make a channel. I could do this. Like, it means there are so many millions, hundreds of millions of people that also across the world. I mean, I came across some Indian vloggers today, literally the shittiest cameras. They're vlogging like their village. They're vlogging their freaking village because they're like, well, if I get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time, I might make a couple extra bucks. So for me, the bull case is the platforms that curate that content at scale win, and the consolidation of those platforms is going to be important as well.
So it's good you're mentioning that, because you're reminding me, my wife's parents, old Korean folks, you would think, oh, like, they don't know how to use Zoom. They don't do that. Well, apparently they Zoom into their church when they're not there. Like they have a live stream on YouTube to Zoom in. Like, this is what I mean. There's more creators being created because of technology, not less. It's just going to keep going up and up and up. Think about this. Elon takes us to Mars. Think about that future. We go to Mars. We expand to different planets. More creators or less creators?
Yeah.
Like, think about it.
Carlos, you guys, hold on. I just
Carlos can't talk because he's fucking...
If only Carlos knew how to use a computer. You know why
day.
Carlos's job is in jeopardy? Because he doesn't know how to use computers.
Carlos, can you just switch the mic for the remainder? Do you have any other mic you can switch it to? Join with your phone, Carlos, and like.
So
we can't hear you, bro.
But why don't you join with your phone?
I just brainstormed a really amazing idea. Maybe I should sell this to the Catholic Church. But basically, the Catholic Church has a problem because there's priests that keep diddling boys, right? Little boys. So here's my thing. People still need to do confession, right? What if they could go on the app and literally it connects them to a priest on the other end?
They have
you
things
can do
like
your
this.
confession. You do?
Well, they have like prayer things, and I'm not sure of the confession part, but I've heard of apps, millions of users make so much money basically doing like prayers and prayer, like logging in.
Teledoc for confessions.
Yeah, why not?
That's a brilliant idea. We joke about it, but that's probably going to happen if it's not happening already.
Yeah, where basically you get connected to a priest who's anonymous on the other side. You confess
and
your
he can't
confession, and he can't touch you. Yeah. So now it's like, oh, this priest touched me. Nah, no, I didn't.
No, he didn't.
He
just Catholics just left the chat. There's a
virtual pope.
No, okay. If you're a Catholic, if you're a Catholic, how would you like the idea where literally all you have to do is just go to an app and then you can do a confession. The person on the other side is a priest, and you could just do that part of your thing. What do you guys think about that?
I think that'll work. Honestly, it's probably the best idea you've had on this podcast.
This is what Vitaly would want me to say. Father, it has been 3 months since the last time I bought pound. Shout out to Cam.
Oh, and congratulations, 17,000 subscribers. Someone just posted. I didn't know that. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you guys for that. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Can you hear me? Check.
Oh my God, bro.
Jesus. Just remember, those 17,000 are off our backs. Okay.
Yeah, sweat and tears.
But Carlos, just literally put the mic a little bit away from you, and then I think it's.
Well, I can adjust the volume. I switched to the I switched back to the other box. I gotta see what's up with that.
Okay.
All right. Valentina says, "How do you get a Catholic priest to have sex with a nun? Dress her up as an altar boy."
Oh my God.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yo, the 190 people that are here, you got to accept this is the type of finance you're gonna.
We're not trying to insult anybody. We're just having a good time, everybody. So don't worry.
Okay. I almost forget sometimes if I don't actually take a look at the chat. I almost forget. It just seems like we're on a Zoom call, just bullshitting. It doesn't even seem like people listen to this.
I don't care if you don't move to economics. I am leaving. I'm sorry, Etienne Breton. This is what you get.
Etienne.
That's how you say the name. Etienne. Yeah.
Okay, to put a cap on this AI thing, I think Vitaly is correct. There is going to be so many more creators, so many more people who, even if they never hit 1 million subs, they're going to think they have a chance, which means they will try. And the major beneficiaries of this are going to be YouTube, Meta, TikTok, if it doesn't get banned, LinkedIn, etc. Like, I still don't think we've reconciled the fact that ChatGPT is going to enable content creation and creators, but it's not going to replace the platforms. And until ChatGPT replaces the platforms, which control the algorithms, control the curation, control the monetization, control the discovery, etc., those platforms I think are good because they have the best business model in the world. They sit back, everyone posts to them, and all they have to do is have some fancy algorithm curate it. Like, it is literally the best business model in the world.
I'm not disagreeing with you that there'll be more content creators, but what I'm talking about, the underlying tradespeople that support those industries, there'll be a lot less of those jobs. Like, I know for a fact that when we went into the pandemic and everybody went to work from home, I know of some specific big studios that were essentially like scanning the screens of the editors. So AIs, they trained AIs on the screens of editors as they were cutting together, say, promos or TV shows. And they were training the AI on how to cut TV shows or how to cut promos. So in the same way that you go on ChatGPT and you could say, write me a 500-word essay on, why on Palantir in the style of Stephen King, right? It will be able to adopt that style and apply it to this thing that you have. You'll be able to do the same thing on video.
I don't
Edit
know if
me
that
a trailer.
necessarily
Edit
means,
me a
like,
trailer
Too
for this
close,
TV
brother.
show.
Your thing is still loud. I'm not sure if everyone else is.
You
Yeah,
could
that's
say
a
like,
little-
edit me a trailer for this movie in the style of Batman, the Dark Knight, and it will understand what it was to make those things, and it'll be able to.
No, I know what you're saying. Okay, but first of all, the people who make Dark Knight will never just sit down and work with an AI alone. That will never happen. Instead, it'll be the editor's tool.
I'm not
in his
saying you,
toolbox.
but that editor, but the guy that the guy or girl editing Dark Knight is like one person. I'm talking about the teams that support, say, the promotion and marketing, the guys that go to work every day and create the content, that do all the versions for YouTube, all that content that goes out and promotes the TV shows. Well, that those teams will be severely reduced. I've already seen it. Even
No.
even
I
on the
agree with you that
marketing side,
one team will be reduced. I agree with you there.
by a lot.
But I think there's going to be many more teams that actually spring up.
No.
Yeah.
But for what we do, like the actual people, the tradespeople, the editors, the sound mixers, the
the sound
guys
mixer
that
has
create
to
the
be on
graphics.
set with me. So I'm a cinematographer.
No, I'm saying a post production sound. Post production sound mixers, the people that do the graphics, the people that do the versionings, the people that do, say, web content, all of that stuff can be automated. And it might not get it perfect, but if you could get it 85% or 90% of the way, what you then do is then you bring in the human beings, you bring in your your A-list people, and what they do is like Chris was saying, one doctor or one lawyer can do the work of 20 people. Same deal. That one team can now handle all of the promos that come out of a department for a year, where you normally had 15 people. Now you've got 3. And those jobs never come back. That's the thing. They never come back.
I think you're thinking in the old way where, okay, there's NBC, there's CBS. I don't think that's the way it's going to play out. I agree with you. Some of those
literally,
teams,
dude, I'm seeing it. Trust me. I'm seeing it on our end.
I know what you're saying.
What I mean? I'm not making it up. I'm saying these are ways that productivity helps the content creators, and in this sense, it helps the studios, but it doesn't necessarily help the tradespeople that did the work before.
Well, luckily, I'll be on set because I'm shooting it, and they still need me to get up at 5 a.m. and get there and actually hold the camera in my hands.
You're safe though, but you're safe because they still need to shoot stuff, right? As long
until Elon finishes his robot, I'm safe.
Until either that or
let me ask you guys this question. So, Carlos, I actually see your point now. It makes a lot of sense. So, if this is the case.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say content gets diluted, because as you're right, Carlos, jobs will decrease in the production, but the overall amount of creators will increase.
Yeah, he's talking about post-production. Production, you're still going to need these people.
Right, I agree. So at that point, how does a content creator actually stand out? Is like authenticity and personality the only way they maintain an audience if there's so much content? Like how do we get?
It's the same. It's harder. The thing is, it's going to be even harder. It's kind of like what you're saying is, I want to write my book, right? The only place that you could get my book would be at the library or like Barnes and Nobles. That was the 2 places you could get it. Well, how do you get it? Well, it's really tough for you if the library is X size and your book is this big. How do you get people to it? But now imagine it's like in every you have access to every library in the world.
Right.
It just becomes harder for you. You're just going to be a grain of sand on a bigger beach. It doesn't mean it's going to be any easier for you to get.
So how do creators stand out then? How do you think like they develop an audience? Like how do you retain people's attention when there's billions of pieces of content every day with ChatGPT?
Be the absolute best. Be the absolute best.
You have to be, yes, you have to be the absolute best. You have to find ways of constantly innovating. And actually what I think, to Vitaly's point about like everyone being content creators, I think it's going to be more tribal. I think people are going to follow people they like. And so if they know you, like, look, people don't talk about this, but part of the reason Mr. Beast is where he is because he was on YouTube so long.
Yeah.
People just know he has a history. So you could literally see this kid grow up on YouTube, right? And if you were following him from the beginning, and it's also, what's his name? Marcus from he's got that new channel. What's his name? He was on YouTube from like 12 years old when there was nobody.
Oh, Marcus Brownlee.
He was on YouTube when it was like he's like 12 years old. Like if anybody would have done what he was doing in that position, they would be him now. But now it's going to be too massive. In other words, I don't think it's going to be good. There'll be a lot more content, and in the sense the end user benefits, right? But you're just going to have to go through more noise to find the gems.
I think this is the bull case for new platforms. I think this is why TikTok succeeded, because Charli D'Amelio would never be the sensation she is if she had posted on Instagram. But TikTok, there was no one there.
Yeah.
There was no one on
hope-
TikTok
yeah.
doing it.
I hope TikTok gets banned and all these fucking creators they lose their livelihoods. I swear
messed
they
up.
are a poison, bro. They are a poison. Charlie D'Amelio is a poison.
No, she's not. She's a dancer.
What value? No, she steals her. Okay, I don't know about Charlie D'Amelio, but I know that I saw this thing with what's her name? One of the other ones. They have like black girls that were doing the same dances, literally taking them, redoing them, and putting them on TikTok, and literally making a shit ton of money and getting all this notoriety. But they were literally stealing dance moves from like these little African American girls. That's fucking crazy, dude. That's
not TikTok's fault. That's just like
It's not TikTok's fault.
it's not TikTok's fault, but I hate the fact that like that is what's happening. And she didn't give any credit to some of those people. So I'm like, and the other thing is like, seriously, you're making money for doing like what the fuck is that, man?
But Chris, like at the end of the day, right? If that gets an audience and there's brands that want to subsidize that and pay for it, like it is.
I feel like TikTok is a modern day equivalent of fucking like smoking, dude. It should come with a warning label. Just
That's what people said. Hold on, but that's what people said about Facebook when it first came out too, and MySpace. That's what people said basically about any social media platform that can amplify hate speech. They're automatically going to. It's automatically.
Listen, if I'm going to buy cigarettes, I'm going to buy American cigarettes. Okay, that's what I'm going to.
I'm going to die.
So
I'm
what
going to
did we,
die on American soil. With American
Carlos,
tobacco.
did you get a chance to get the highlights of the TikTok CEO on Congress? Do you have any thoughts on how he did?
No, I actually did not.
Okay,
What was
Vitaly,
the,
do you have any
I
thoughts?
listened to a little bit more. Man, that guy sounded so fake. It's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
Whoever sounds authentic and
no. This was bad. He sounded like he prepared, but it was inauthentic preparation.
You know the
that
first
makes
question
sense.
they asked him? The
Yeah,
first
give an
question
example.
they asked him was
You should just watch it. Just put up a clip.
Yeah, why not?
let me see if I can pull it up. But the first question was, did you consult with anyone from the CCP before this congressional hearing?
What did he say?
He said he can't answer that.
Oh my god, that was the first
As
question.
soon as he said that, bro,
That's
the
a smart
interview
first
went downhill.
question. That's a smart first question. Just hit him with the hammer right away.
Like,
No,
think about that, bro. If you can't answer, the answer is no. You're supposed to be like, no.
I mean,
fact that
he should have just lied at that point.
I thought the best part was like, Tiananmen Square and the Chinese Uyghur situation in China. What do you think about, like, is that bad? And he was like, he was like thinking
Define
to himself,
bad.
he's like, yeah. No, he literally was like dodging the questions. Like, look, it's a yes or no question. Do you think the Tiananmen Square was bad? And he was just like, TikTok just takes a lot of actions to blah, blah, blah. And I was like, bro,
Yo,
you can tell right
play
there.
it? Can you play that first
Yeah.
clip?
I
would
can't
like to.
find the clip of the first question. I'll pull up the video. And
The
I'll try
CCP
to-
bandit.
Okay, well, I do want to bring
Search
up
for it on TikTok.
since you
Actually,
brought up TikTok. I'm going to bring up Meta. They just was it Morgan Stanley that upgraded their stock to 250?
no, it wasn't Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley has
What was
actually
it?
has the lowest price target for Meta.
I'm
125,
looking at it right now.
134.
Hold on. Meta platforms.
Let me see if I can find that clip.
Morgan
also-
Stanley.
I found it here.
No, it was Morgan Stanley. They just upgraded it to 250. Yeah, it's Morgan Stanley.
Go ahead,
Okay.
play this, Amit. Put it on the screen.
This is the exact one, or this? Oh,
Yep.
okay. 10 minutes ago.
Oh,
Prior to today's hearing, did anyone affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party discuss this hearing with you or anyone else on TikTok senior management?
Congressman, since I've been CEO of this company, I've not had any discussions with Chinese government officials.
So but what about the Chinese Communist Party itself? Have any of those officials discussed this with you?
Like I said, I have not had any discussion with Chinese government officials. I don't know the political affiliation of everybody I speak to, so I can't verify the statement.
Oh, that's interesting.
Okay, well,
He gave a more political answer. The way I interpreted, or the way someone told it to me, was like he just wouldn't answer that question. But
yeah. This is the
it
one
didn't
that
sound as bad. It did that.
It didn't sound as bad.
Honestly, what's funny is you read so much into that, and you don't see the red flags when Karp is talking. There's a massive.
All right,
irony.
we're not going to get into that.
I'm just saying.
this one was more revealing. Hold on.
Have any moderation tools been used to remove content on TikTok associated with the Uyghur genocide? Yes or no?
Oh yeah, this one was big.
We do not remove that kind of content. TikTok is a place of freedom of expression, and Cheroges, like I said, if you use our app, you can go on it and you will see a lot of users around the world expressing content on that topic and many others.
Thank you. What about the massacre in Tiananmen Square? Yes or no?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
The massacre in Tiananmen Square.
That kind of content is available on our platform. You can go and search it.
I
You
will
wanna
remind
watch
you that
massacres? Go
multiple
ahead.
statements to Congress is a federal crime.
I understand. Again, if
Okay,
you go on our
thank you.
platform, you
Next
will find that
question.
content.
Okay, thank you.
Like, see, I hate these fucking politicians
doesn't seem
because
that
they
bad.
won't give this guy a chance too. Like, you got to let him. If you're already
Yeah.
asking it, you got to let him answer it. That's
The,
it.
the worst question that honestly was the worst, though the two examples we just put up weren't the worst. The worst one was, can you is it bad that China's committing a genocide on the Uyghurs? And that's the one where like was slavery bad? It's like any CEO of any company in the world would be like, yes, slavery was not a good thing. He just would not answer that. He was like, TikTok is a place for joy. They're like, no, but is the genocide on the Uyghurs bad from China? He's like,
No.
TikTok is a place for joy.
And some people
That's
find
kind of not
joy in
fair.
murder.
I mean, look, I'm not like the biggest TikTok fan, but that's kind of not fair. If they put it like this, if they asked Tim Cook that, knowing how important China is to their overall bottom line, they would put him in an uncomfortable position to answer that. Of course, he feels that way, but to publicly state it is.
Hold on.
Okay,
So
so-
hold on. If you ask Tim Cook, hey, was the Holocaust bad? You want him to not?
No,
answer that
that's a different story. What I'm saying, like right
He's in
now,
America, first of all.
China makes China is a huge part of their
So
sales
I
and their
get it,
growth
but you should
strategy.
be able to criticize the government that's doing bad
If
things,
you
even
ask
if
Tim
you're working
Cook,
in their company.
if you ask Tim Cook to say anything negative about the Chinese government in Tiananmen Square, he will not.
He
I
won't say
agree.
it.
will
But that's what I'm
not
saying.
say it.
So I can't fault the TikTok guy for doing
No, we
that
should
because
fault both of
Mark
them. We should
Zuckerberg
fault
wouldn't do it. Like even
Zuckerberg would
Elon
definitely
Musk,
do it. Zuckerberg doesn't care.
is tiptoes around
Totally
issues like
tiptoeing.
that with China because they're
Yeah, Elon's a pussy for that too. Like all of them for not saying shit about China. That's
Well,
bad.
look,
Now, I don't
they
blame
have
them
companies to
necessarily.
run global. So
I
yeah,
get it.
that's
I
not the
get it.
issue.
I understand. But at the end of the day, you can't say I care about free speech and buy a platform for 44 billion and then not talk shit about China. Like, come on, right? Like it's absolutely hypocritical.
Well,
That's
you
one
can
thing
but
I'll
talk
talk
about
never
China.
talk about
You
it.
can talk
yeah,
shit on Twitter about
the
China.
people
He
on the
just doesn't have
platform-
to.
Exactly.
No. He doesn't have to tweet these memes that are very raunchy and sexual and all that crazy stuff Elon tweets. But you can't say one thing about China being bad.
Amit, share the screen real quick. The one that I showed before, I didn't realize was like a Chinese friendly. Even the Chinese have disinformation campaigns on YouTube and stuff. But this here,
Do you agree that the Chinese government has persecuted the Uyghur population?
Congresswoman, if you use our app and you open it, you will find our users who give
That's
all sorts of
That's not my
content on that stuff.
question. My question is, do you agree that the Chinese government has persecuted the Uyghur population?
That has nothing to do with him.
Well, it's
That-
really concerning
this
to hear
is-
about all accounts of human rights abuse. My role here is to
I
explain
think
what
you're
our
being
platform
pretty
does on this.
evasive. It's a pretty easy question. Do you agree that the Chinese government has persecuted the Uyghur population?
Congresswoman, I'm here to describe TikTok and what we do as a platform. And as a
Yes.
platform, we allow our users
I
to
agree with
freely
him there.
express
All
their
right.
views on this issue.
You know what? I
Really?
like him more and more the more he talks.
I am. I'm liking him more and more
No,
because.
but see,
I'm also
look,
feeling like-
hold on. This is the point I'm trying to make. So Gail has a good point, right? Try talking shit about China when you're trying to get Audia to break into China a few years down the line. When
Yes.
we're trying to enter China, zip. I ain't saying. See,
Exactly,
I ain't
and-
saying shit.
So then how can you fault this guy? Who's
And
got
I didn't
$100
invest
billion?
$10,000. I didn't invest $10,000 so you can defend those Uyghurs.
My goodness.
wow.
Well, see, Vitaly's talking like a true capitalist. That's the
That's a
thing.
capitalist. I'm just
I can't-
pointing it
I
out,
can't-
right? He has investors that bought $250,000 expecting to make a 10x, 100x, whatever. If he starts talking shit about China and he's trying to move into that country, that's not good for us investors.
100%.
You know
And same thing with Elon. Elon has a $700 billion company that China is one of their main places to make fucking cars. He
Cars.
can't. So I
And
don't
materials.
blame Elon, Tim Apple, or what's the other guy, or Mr. Chu for not talking shit about China. However, it is emblematic of the problem that exists, which is that in order to do business there, you have to bow down to them. So in terms of the question of
But
banning TikTok,
okay, look, but isn't it fair to say that when people want to do business with America, that they have to sort of abide by our
no,
rules?
because Elon talks shit about Joe Biden all day, and then Joe
long.
Biden has to end up.
Yeah,
meeting with him.
but
Like,
Carlos,
Right.
we say free speech is okay. The Chinese have never said free speech is okay. So they're actually doing exactly what we allow them to do. If we say we believe in free speech, we believe everyone should have a voice. That's absolutely right. They come here, they all have voices. China says, look, there's no such thing as free speech. There's correct speech and then there's wrong speech. And we'll tell you what that is, you know. And
Yeah,
that's
but,
it.
but once again,
But they do have a right as a sovereign nation to run their country the way
No,
that they want.
absolutely.
is it
It's not our
America's
job
duty?
to push our, you know.
Yeah, I don't think
well,
it's
no,
America's duty
it's
to
not
go
our
to every
job, but
country.
we can definitely criticize the
No,
ridiculous.
we can criticize,
Yes, we can.
but that's not the same thing. They can run their country. What we can do is not spend our own money as Americans on Chinese products, which we're not doing. We are buying all their products. So if we stop doing that, I bet you anything China will change its tune, or the people will, because they're enjoying middle class citizenship right now. Imagine you take that away from them. That would hurt them more than anything.
I think that's the master plan of the U.S. Get them addicted to U.S.-like capitalism. Then they have to go full-on authoritarianism. And now the thing is, just take away the punch bowl of America's insatiable demand, right? Like you put, I wouldn't say sanctions, but you literally just limit the ability for them to grow anymore. And once you lose that customer base and joblessness comes to China, automatically, like, dude, if you want to ferment a revolution, you get them addicted to something and then you take that shit away, because once they're addicted to capitalism and you try to strip it away from them, and the Chinese know this. That's why they have such an authoritarian response to their what is that thing called, to their general population, because now they've experienced that taste of freedom, that taste of like the good life. So try to take that away and there'll be a fucking revolt, dude. So now the US is like, okay, the time has come. We pull back from China. We boost production in other locations, and now the Chinese economy suffers, and the next domino to fall is the CCP, and the CCP knows this. That's why they're allying themselves all over the world with these other authoritarian countries to just to ring up demand. I just think the U.S. though is overplaying its hand all over the world.
You're making us out to be a little bit too smart, because really China is doing it to themselves by killing their own tech sector and destroying their own CEOs. And and basically the investor base in the United States is losing faith in Chinese markets, right? They're doing it to themselves. This has nothing to do with the master plan from Biden. No, I'm a Democrat. The Chinese not that smart.
The Chinese are great at copying and mass producing, but they're not innovators. Like the Chinese government doesn't want entrepreneurs. In China, they want, so that's why they don't really create anything. They're like the factory of the world, but they don't really create anything.
This is a good comment by Ray. Ray says they will literally kill him if he says yes to that. And the difference is in America, you can ban Donald Trump, right? Zucks literally banned Trump and got away with it. Whereas in China, I mean,
you're dead. Yeah,
you're dead. And so but I agree with you guys at the end of the day. Like, if you're a capitalist and you have to abide by China's whatever policies to sell more cars, you do what you got to do. You have shareholders. And so I agree with you. It's just, fun.
By the way,
what would you want to see him do? You would want to see him go on a crusade and say, yes, I think the CCP is wrong.
So two thoughts on this. Number one, I'm not fully on the board that TikTok should get banned, because I actually personally think it's great for discovery. And I think that's a really important thing for content creators. But second is, as a debate coach, because I have a debate background analyzing this, as soon as you can't, if the whole thesis is we should ban them because we think you guys are beholden to the CCP, and then you can't criticize the CCP on one of the most obvious things ever, that to me means, okay, you can't promise us that you guys are not beholden to the CCP. And so to me, from a debate perspective, he lost the hearing once he couldn't answer that question.
But that's sort of a gotcha question. And it actually makes me question what these people in Congress are doing, if these are the questions that they're asking, because there's no American CEO with business in China that could answer that question, honestly, on the record.
I think they should have went strictly off of what data. They should have went straight. Is the data
straight
being
for
shared?
for the data?
Is the CCP looking at the data? How is it sectioned off on your computers? But they don't know anything about this shit. They're just trying to get those gotcha questions, which don't mean anything.
They knew it was going to go viral. They wanted that question to be there, go viral, and
that's fair.
The one thing I just want to highlight really quickly is,
before we go,
it's when it comes to U.S. policy in regards to other countries and stuff, it's not believe it or not, it's not formed by the current sitting president or even the current Congress. There are think tanks that actually have control over policy decisions that are 10, 20, even 30 years into the future that they make very early on. So it's almost like, okay, what are we going to do about the Chinese thing? And they make this decision, and then this is like the you know how the Donald Trump was saying the deep state? Bro, there is a deep state. Okay, I've been in government. There are bureaucrats in our government that have been there forever that make decisions behind people's backs.
Unelected officials, yeah.
They're unelected officials that make a lot of decisions behind people's backs, like the CIA. You think the directors of the CIA are appointed by Congress? No, they've been around forever. and they're going to be making decisions like, okay, this is a country that we need to be extra careful of. This is what we're seeing. This is what we're going to do. While each president and each Congress crafts laws and does actions to support the mission in their own special way, there is a foreign policy goal that that we have towards a situation. And guess what? We have to just somehow figure out how to make that happen. So, yeah, we're just at this point. I think that we are in a place where, okay. So one last thing, I know I keep saying that, but the good thing that I saw in Congress was this is the first time that Democrats and Republicans agreed on things.
Not all of them, though. Not all. Of them. AOC is on TikTok now.
Fuck
AOC literally is on
dude.
TikTok.
Fuck AOC. AOC is a fucking traitor to this government, dude. Whatever. I don't give a shit about AOC. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about. She's. I'm not going to talk about her, but some of these guys, they would literally sell out their own mothers to basically to get funding for their next election cycle. So this is what people are like. I mean, it's part of being a politician. So they have to do what they have to do. So I'm not going to go too much into that. But I think at this point, the fact that we have a singular enemy again is amazing for America. The best times for America has always been when we've had a fucking enemy. Anytime we have an enemy, we awesome.
Think about it. The best times in almost anything, even in like your relationship, your family, is when there's a common enemy to be battled against. It's a really united thing.
I think this guy's talking from experience.
The height of the Roman Empire was when Carthage was around, and the mission of Rome was we have to fuck Carthage over. That's our goal right now.
He went all the way back to Roman time.
He went way back just now.
Do you guys? Okay, yes or no question.
You couldn't have gone to World War II.
Huh?
You know, World War II against the Nazis and everything. That's like
that too.
Okay, yes or no question.
Yeah.
Was 9/11 an inside job?
Oh my God.
No.
So ridiculous. Is this a conspiracy podcast? Is this a flat earther podcast?
I'm just saying, like, yes or no. It's just
no, it wasn't.
Okay,
no, it wasn't.
Carlos.
No, I wouldn't say it's a conspiracy, but when you're, George Carlin had a really great, you might just look it up, George Carlin with talking about like conspiracies. What he's saying is when you have really powerful people, they all went to the same school. They all operate in the same circles. They're all part of the same social clubs. They don't need to have a conspiracy because their interests are lined up into the same thing. I'm not saying 9/11 was that, but I'm saying a lot of what people think are conspiracies are not really conspiracies.
So was it an inside job? Yes or no? That's my question.
Inside job meaning like did someone from America pay?
Like did America know it was going to happen? They let it happen so they could go to Iraq for oil.
Well, I read the what you call it, the report, the 9/11 Commission report. I read it, and they were definitely aware that something was up, and they say that they definitely botched the response. But to tweak it, I feel like what you're doing to me, what they did to this TikTok CEO. You're like, do you hate America? And I'm like, no, I love this country.
All I said was, do you think like George?
I think it was Bush. George Bush did it.
Yeah, it was him because he made all that money.
So number one, first of all, 9/11 was not an inside job.
Are your people even old enough to know what 9/11 was? The people watching this?
How old are you?
The demographics are like older than 25.
No, I'm saying butt fucker. We know he's 38, but everybody else.
No, everyone.
Futt bucker. You just messed it up. See.
Also, for those I love hold on.
Halliburton. Yes, Halliburton.
I do not believe 9/11 was an inside job. It's just
Johnny's old enough.
We started talking about something that triggered me to ask that question. But okay, Vitaly, go ahead.
No, obviously it wasn't. I mean, but we all know that there was already the FBI had information that they were training, that certain things were happening. They just didn't put it all together.
Yeah, incompetence.
Incompetence is more or less, I think, what happens usually. And
what does it say? Don't attribute to malice what can easily.
I think they could have. I think they could have invaded Iraq for any number of reasons. By the way, so the fact that they picked 9/11 is because it was right there in front of them. These aren't.
Yeah. Geniuses. So that's the other thing too. When it came down to it, there's a saying. I think Rahm Emanuel from Chicago said this: "Never let a good crisis go to waste." And that was what America had turned into, where we had gone uber crazy with we need to get revenge, and we were ready to go down any rabbit hole, anything that we wanted to. That's why we were able to successfully invade Iraq with majority of the population supporting that. I just want to take it back and remember that. A lot of
politics. Apparently, we're losing the audience.
Oh, don't hold on. Don't get mad because Johnny is upset that we didn't talk about Enovix. Okay, there's still 194 people here. Obviously, they want to hear some thoughts.
Yeah,
Chris,
I'm just saying the last, like everyone's like, oh my God, I didn't agree with the Iraq war. Nah, dude, I remember during that time, people were all about, this is 2003. Everyone, the Dixie Chicks came out against the war. Bro, people tore up the Dixie Chicks, okay?
Yeah.
70 to 80% of America was like, yeah, fuck Saddam Hussein, we're going in. Yes, there was no weapons of mass destruction. All that shit was bullshit. But the politicians at the time, they knew what they were doing. They're like, look, right now we have public opinion on our side. If we are going to take out a dictator, right now is the time that we want to go and do it. So anytime you have public policy behind you, you can make a lot of like geopolitical moves. I mean, yeah, it sucked that we ended up staying there for a long time. Believe it or not, I was in 2007, 2008. I was one of those people that was still very like, oh my God, this is about defending America. And I think over time, I woke up to the idea that, you know what, maybe there's certain things that the US, we don't need to be involved in. We don't have to go and change the hearts and minds of the people in Afghanistan. If they want to do certain things a certain way, who am I in my country to tell them what to do? And to the point where they've been living their lives for almost 1,000 years. And now here I come trying to put my values into their system.
But that wasn't really what they were doing. The idea it was sold to us like we're going there for revenge. We're going to go and hunt the people that hurt us. I think honestly, I think it goes back to what you said about not letting a crisis go to waste. I think people saw that we have that many people for it. There's a tremendous amount of money to be made. In markets. And so that's why I think there was a lot of people, because wartime during the time is actually very good for the country, for the production sector, for making money from markets. And so, yeah, I think that it was just like, hey, this is going to be a great money grab. Unfortunately, I was too young to understand what that was, but had I have been savvy at that time and I knew what happened, because I mean, I don't know what American Airlines tanked to the next day, like what these airlines tanked to, like I could have probably retired on American Airlines stock,
You know why I also really asked this question is because I was 9/11 and 9/11 videos was some of the first content I consumed on YouTube back in 2009.
Like loose change,
all that. I was a 9/11 junkie, bro. Like I've seen every single angle that plane has flown into that building. Like I've seen all of it. Like I literally every video on YouTube I've watched on it. And so this weekend randomly,
I was in Manhattan. I was there when
I was there too. And I still have, when I went home, when I finally got home that day, because I was stuck in the city, I went home and I popped in a tape in my VCR, if you guys know what that was. And I just started recording the news. So I have like stacks of tapes of just
they're all on
the
YouTube.
news 24 hours.
Carlos didn't know the internet would be coming out around the corner.
Could you just share this one last thing before we...
Real quick, the reason I brought it up, now I remember. It finally came full circle. I watched
Carlos Perez is right, by the way, what he's saying. That last comment. He's absolutely right.
Yes, this is also true. I mean, there was a lot of bad stuff. So I watched Air Force One this weekend. Shout out, put it in the chat if you've seen that movie.
That was a good movie.
Okay, we've come full circle, guys. We're down at Air Force One. Harrison Ford. Okay.
Come on, that was a good movie, man. That was a good movie. He was a good president.
That movie, it reminded me about 9/11. So I went on YouTube and I searched up 9/11, and I was like, damn, bro. Like that whole, and there's still I saw the comments on YouTube videos saying Bush did 9/11, and I'm like, wow, people really think that this was the other way, and so that's why I brought it up.
All right, let's end. Let's end this before everyone in the comments kills us.
Anytime I look back at everything, just remember this right here is the stock price of Lockheed Martin since 2001 when we were attacked. 34 to this. They've gone up 10.
Do a range. What's the range from that? The range.
Can we compare Palantir's stock price?
This is Northrop Grumman. Okay, Northrop Grumman. Look at where they are right now, right? So if you're telling me that there's no entrenched systems out there, this is General Dynamics. Look at their stock chart.
That's amazing.
Right?
It's all like 4,000, 5,000%. But to be fair, I made like 4,000% on Netflix stock. So you don't have to go to war to do that. I made it by buying Netflix near IPO.
But these guys, their primary business is what? Making war, right?
Yeah,
supporting war.
It is.
And this is the craziness that we're right now. The world could be investing in so much more to develop technologies around preventing fucking people dying and stuff. And instead we're developing weapons to fucking kill each other, And that's the sad thing.
I think both is happening. Elon Musk is developing other things that aren't killing it. He's taking us to Mars. He's developing satellites that communicate with the whole world. So I think a lot of stuff is happening in tandem. Look, to bring some positive.
Part of it too is the reason why part of the reason why there is so much war is because right now the natural resources that fuel the earth are limited to where they are. Like you just happen to have, geographically a bunch of oil where you are. There's going to be people that want to come in and take it. But as this democratization happens, where we talk about all this stuff basically going to zero, the cost of energy going to zero, it's a whole different ball game. If nobody needs like oil, right, and you can generate all of the energy that you need for your country, it becomes different again. It becomes a much more level playing field. And so that's part of what's happening at the same time.
I think these one of the crazy vulnerabilities I see for the United States is these defense contractors putting their thoughts into the heads of politicians, making us go into these crazy wars so that they can support a stock price. And then on top of it, you've got a situation now where the government is in so much goddamn debt from all this stuff, all this exceptional spending. Like we spend about $700 billion a year in defense right now, right? To the point where
800.
This could be 800. This could be something that ends up bankrupting us. I mean, if you think about the Roman Republic, right? I keep going back to Rome because that is the perfect example of what the US is going to end up being like. What caused the Roman Republic to fail? Well, guess what? They diluted themselves into nothingness because they spent so much on their military conquest and then just maintaining the empire that they diluted their currency. If you look at what the currency was when the first Roman Republic was around and to the end, literally they were just diluting. And that's what happened. Right now, we're in the same place where we're diluting the shit out of our country's natural wealth.
Well, hold on. What is everybody else doing?
What do you mean?
What is every other country on this planet doing right now?
Not doing it at the level that we're doing it.
They're printing as much money as we are to get out of the whole. Europe is totally screwed. China's RMB is just they move it whatever they want.
Yeah, they're lying about that shit.
They do whatever they want. They peg it to whatever they want. We buy into it, of course, because I think we may have agreements, United States and in China, but I think everybody.
I guess, Chris, would you want us to spend $400 billion on defense? Like, what's your bright line at that point?
So I think number one, our policy goals should not be to change governments around the world, and that if people want to do dumb shit and weird shit in their own country, I'm totally fine. Like this whole thing with Uganda. I don't know if you guys know this. They have this now legislation around making Uganda like LGBT, like anti-LGBT, where the Constitution says
they've always been against gay people,
right? But now they are codified into law, and now the U.S. is putting so much pressure on them. And then who was it? They had an interview in Congress, and they were asked a question, right, about are we supporting dictators in Africa, where we're actually going there, training people, and then those people are running coups in the countries, right? This is U.S. supported.
They've done this for 100 years.
The U.S. does that. The U.S. does that and justifies it by saying that if we have someone running the country that's sympathetic to our interests, it is part of defense. The idea is the military spending being defense related. The definition of defense has expanded to, like you said, regime changing, right? To change a regime, or even so far as what's happening in Ukraine, because anything can be a threat to America. And that's part of the problem, is that literally any offense can be seen as a way of is construed as defense.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's wrap it up with what flat Earth podcast we've been watching.
Wait,
how did we go on this rabbit hole?
What do you guys think about this comment? I don't know how I feel about.
We gotta wrap this up.
I don't know how I'd feel about making money from war.
Every company in the United States making money from war. Technically,
I mean,
yeah, dude.
If you buy Apple, are you not participating in how the people are being mistreated in China and in Taiwan or wherever else they're making these iPhones? So I think it's hard to escape that. And I keep talking to Carlos. He hates Meta. But I'm like, if you buy anything in the S&P, you're screwed morally. That's it. So either you
would admit that some companies are more egregious than others.
Well, yeah, I get to pick my own morality. So I don't like cigarette compcompanies and I don't like war companies. Fine.
Right.
Chris, if we play this clip,
how many people has Apple killed in the last 20 years?
No, it's not. This is the last one. Huh?
Apple. How many people has Apple killed?
How many people has Apple killed in the factories in China where they're jumping out buildings?
At least 1,000. At least thousands.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, so our iPhones are tainted with blood, technically, if we were to think about it like that. But you can't.
But
Think
you
of
have to ask.
everything
You have to ask yourself if you have to ask yourself if U.S. companies decided to do that on their own, or was that pressure from the markets and the punishment that they received from the markets if they didn't produce growth?
If Apple wanted to make 10% less, they can do it in America. And somebody
look
did
what
an
happened-
article. Someone
Right,
did an
okay, but
article
what
about
happened- what happened when-
Hold on. Someone did an article about the actual cost of the prices, and they're paying, let's say, $10 per iPhone more. It's something stupid.
Yeah.
And they're charging us $1,500 for this damn
Mhm.
iPhone. They don't want to pay $10 more. Okay, they
Because-
want to give it to their shareholders.
Right. Well, because you know what happens when you tell Wall Street that you're going to take reduced margins. I mean, even Tesla
That's
has
fine.
industry-leading margins, but if it drops below 20% at all, they're going to be seen as a failing company, and Wall Street will punish
But
them.
this is the great thing about Tesla, that they're innovating to the point where they're like, look, we know that this cobalt mining is a problem. Let's get rid of
We're
that.
going to mine it out. Yeah, we're going
That's
to
innovative.
we're gonna get it
Apple
out.
has not innovated anything
That's
in the
right.
last 20 years except
I
trying
agree.
to.
I wouldn't say that's not fair. I mean, look, as much shit as I'm talking about the M1 Studio, the fact that Apple now designs their own chips, like they're really becoming this sort of one-stop shop. And the upcoming VR, which we didn't get a chance to talk about, you can't say that they didn't innovate because they haven't come out with another product like the iPhone. But the iPhone was an incredibly transformative product that is, say, a once in 100-year product. So it's not fair to say that about Apple, because like
I'm
no
not
one
saying,
else
I don't mean
did
they,
it, you know?
right now they're just iterating. First of all, they're not
Mhm.
really innovating anything. And even the iPhone was sort of based on something else.
AirPods were pretty innovative. I'm not gonna lie.
AirPods
No,
are
it was.
AirPods.
It actually was.
Yes, and do you remember Adaptergate when they came out? All the adapters you needed for this stuff, and then
They
when they
still
had the
have that.
AirPods, it was like, oh my god, they're gonna
Yeah.
fall. I'm gonna lose them. Now, if you see somebody with corded headphones, don't you feel like they just feel ancient?
Even though I do like using corded headphones, but yes, I agree with you.
Yeah. So this one last video about U.S. policy, and then that's it. So Key and
man.
Peele did this.
Oh Jesus.
Gentlemen, it has been a pleasure and an honor to meet you and your people. The U.S. government supports you in every possible way, ideologically, of course. However, we cannot offer any military aid at this time.
With all due respect, Ambassador, we need more than that. We are dealing with terrorism on a daily basis.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Warlords overrun villages.
Yes, that's regrettable.
Rapes, tortures, all manner of human atrocities.
That's really sad. But the U.S. military is simply spread too thin. We can't afford another intervention at this time.
But what we could use your help with really is protecting our vulnerable, plentiful, and newly discovered oil reserves.
Oil? Excuse me 1 second. Operation Golden Eagle is a go. Welcome to democracy.
We also have natural gases. Oh, yes, a lot of it.
True.
Oh, boy.
Man, Chris just bounced. You're muted, Vitaly.
I think you muted me.
You're good. You're good. man. Okay.
One thing I want to end before. Yeah, I see Chris was kicked off the pod.
He got him. bro.
ChatGPT. No, or it was the U.S. government. Or it's the U.S.
But,
government be like, this asshole's letting all the information out.
We're going to close with this, but Enphase solves all of this. Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
So maybe the U.S. government should have just bought a shit ton of Enphase and just put microinverters everywhere, right, Vitaly?
That's not a bad idea, actually. Elon Musk said as much, basically. 100 square miles, United States. We're energy independent.
Somewhere in Arizona, Nevada, it's done.
We're energy
So next pod
independent.
we should definitely talk
Okay,
about
hold on,
this,
no.
energy independence. Yeah.
So here's the question for the audience. First of all, shout out to 212 people being here with all of our.
Thank you guys so much. Seriously, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it seems like you guys enjoyed some of what we're talking about. Okay, here's the question. Put in the chat and then we end. Should Finance Junkies happen every night, 10 p.m. to 11, Monday through Thursday? Because Chris, Vitaly, and I are doing a podcast every night, 10 to 11 or 9 to 10, Monday through Thursday. It's called Late Night Cowbell. It's a long story, but we're all three having a three-way every night. So we want to have a four-way. We could have Finance Junkies every night because it seems like people are. And then this show might actually have a chance not only to grow but to make some money if we actually do it every night, 4 days a week. We might actually have like.
And tomorrow I'll actually talk about REITs. So I know we were supposed to talk about it tonight.
Like big REIT.
So you're gonna have to wait till tomorrow.
Yes,
Sorry.
okay, yes.
And Chris is
make a poll. Go ahead, make a poll, man.
And they're already responding on the chat.
Oh shit, let me make a poll. Okay.
So Valentina wrote 3 men in a cup. That's disgusting.
Oh, Jesus. Disgusting.
That's good. That's good. Chris, Chris is
I'm
gonna
a
go get a
little-
booster shot
I'm a little
tomorrow.
sick, man.
If this is the bro, because honestly, first of all, I think this show is one of the most unique finance shows on YouTube because we get into some interesting topics. Second, I think all of us have a different level of personality that we bring to it. Third, I think we can find anything and make it interesting. And fourth, I think if we do it more every week, then there's actually gonna be an audience that shows up every week, and they're gonna be excited at night.
But you also get better at it.
So
we also get better at it. Yeah,
we
yeah.
lose the Sunday one, right? There's no point for the Sunday one.
No, we should still do Sunday. I mean,
But that-
why not?
What kind of job is this? 6 days a week.
Like 4 days a week.
This is why he doesn't want a woman. You see,
And now, thanks to you, Johnny's going to be texting me in the Discord about how he didn't enjoy this
Oh my
podcast.
God.
Yeah, Johnny hated it.
Yeah, if we don't mention Enovix, Johnny's like, "What's going on? What are we talking about?"
It's
Jacob's like, ghetto
It's
all-in-pod.
Novix.
In Novix, whatever the hell.
Millennial
TJ
money.
Rogers. Okay, so we
Do you own-
have 87% saying yes, 13% saying no.
Do you own any in Novix?
Not yet. I didn't buy it yet. Not
No.
yet.
You, Chris?
I think Chris
I have
owns
some.
some.
I have
Chris-
I'm
some.
reserving some
You
capital
guys-
for Chris's new REIT that he talked to me about today, which
That's
I agree
right.
with him is looking.
Oh,
Do-
you're not still scaling into Palantir?
I have enough Palantir to like last me a lifetime.
Do either of you guys have any crypto at all?
I have $1 of Bitcoin.
One actual
Yeah.
dollar?
All right, well, we can talk about crypto next week. We have 90 days before it's $1
No,
million.
I'm just curious.
We still have 83 days.
Bro, that guy is like he's
Right before it's
that guy on Twitter is like hopelessly tweeting about the banking crisis. Like no one cares anymore, bro. That was
No,
last
but
week's news.
I still go back to, I guess the final thing I'll say. We did not go bankrupt in this country, meaning just like total chaos in
I know.
2008. Why
I
would
know.
it happen now? Why is now when a small Silicon Valley bank with a bunch of rich billionaires going to bankrupt the whole country? I don't understand why this is the one.
Yeah, it's not. So,
Well,
but
if
he
you
has some bags
can
on Bitcoin.
if you can convince enough people that it's going to happen, then you do get the bank runs, which cause it, right? It's that movie Wag the Dog.
Yeah, but people have moved
Create
on
a
for the most
crisis.
part. Most rational people have moved on at this point.
Yeah.
I just want to say it to this person,
Etienne.
Etienne. What nationality is that name, by the way?
That sounds South African. I know that because I
Okay.
dated a chick whose name was Etienne.
No, I think it's
Wait,
French.
really? Wait, you
French.
dated a chick named? What if this is the same chick?
Etienne. No, I don't know.
Wait, isn't Etienne a guy's name though?
No.
No?
Or I don't know. Her name was Etienne.
Okay. Anyway, we literally have a podcast called Palantir Weekly that we did. So I don't know why you're asking for it on this pod.
Yeah,
I'll tell you. I'll tell you why.
Yeah,
Because on your channel, you don't get Vitaly and I's opinions. That sometimes
but you. Well,
Well,
yeah.
what do you need to know? You need to know what to sell tomorrow.
put the stop loss in right now.
Yeah, there's no stop wins, right? It's stop losses.
Okay, so Carlos,
Okay.
are we doing daily? Can you
Well,
do
listen,
daily?
we can try. The best I can. The worst that would happen is I come on and I say I just can't tonight. But
So, but what? 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. Your time is the best.
7 would. Well, let me see.
Well,
6
no,
would
I
probably
said
be
I'm
better.
not home. I'm not home at a lot of days that time.
So
Six-
7.
We can.
No, Vitaly, I'm talking about Pacific. Stop being so selfish. I'm talking Pacific Standard Time. Okay.
Yeah, it's 3 hour difference, so we can't do 6. That's 9 here. So 10
Yes.
is like,
So 10 is better for you, Vitaly.
yeah. A lot of times I get home like 9:30, 9:45.
Okay, Chris, does 10 work?
10 works.
Yeah, let's go for it. I mean, full disclosure, I try to get my daughter to bed between 7 and 8, and if I don't see her, I try to take that time with her. But she has been going to bed later since daylight savings sort of shifted it, and it is getting darker later, so we might actually shift her sleep time an hour. In which case, yeah, 7 to 8 would be perfect because then after that, I'd go deal with her.
Yeah, if
All right.
not, no worries. But if you can, that's all.
Dude,
Yeah,
I
if you
just
can-
want your podcast ideas to run more than 3 weeks.
Okay, hold on. This is not my fault. Okay, we had a good thing going with Daily Cowbell, then Tom had to quit, and then Vitaly had to replace, and then it was.
We had a good
impossible
thing
to-
until Vitaly joined.
No, it's not that. It's because then we couldn't. Like, it's been a lot of movements. I know, but I think we're consolidating on something.
Well, if you have 4 people, there's a good chance you'll at least get 2.
Exactly.
every
and that's
time.
plenty. And that's plenty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Real quick about Wejo, I would not buy. I love the company. I would not buy their stock, man. It's going to be a while before Wejo recovers. So
All right, I'm hanging up. See you guys later.
Doesn't it have a
Later,
girlfriend
guys.
yet? No. All right. Bye, everybody. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.